Do you think Meghan Markle's long-anticipated return to Hollywood has officially begun? A lot of people are starting to think so, but if you're already convinced, take a moment, don't celebrate too early. Before you go popping any champagne bottles, you might want to pause and really look at what's happening. Because this time, her so-called comeback isn't quiet, low-key, or tucked away behind the scenes. It's the complete opposite. It's loud, very public, and impossible for anyone to overlook. This isn't the kind of subtle re-entry where a celebrity casually shows up at a glamorous event and hopes people notice. It's a full-on, unmistakable move that practically demands attention. And now, it's no longer just about Meghan, because the real twist this time comes from Adele, the powerhouse voice and unstoppable energy from the UK. What really grabs attention is how their two very different worlds suddenly crossed, in a way no one expected. So let's take a closer look at what happened when their stories collided in such a memorable moment. Before we dive in, drop a 1-inch the comments if you relate to Meghan Markle, or a 0 if you see things differently. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, where we'll uncover even more behind this story. Meanwhile, Meghan had built her career on interviews and on cultivating relationships she could manage and control. But stepping into this room where influence wasn't measured by charming conversations or handshakes, but by long-standing connections and decades of history, she felt clearly out of place. While Martha could effortlessly mingle with the biggest names, Meghan wandered the space, eyes searching for someone, anyone who might give her a moment of recognition, a conversation that didn't end with a polite but dismissive brush-off. She was looking for someone who had never had a problem with her, someone who could offer a flicker of reassurance that, despite everything, she wasn't completely an outsider in the world she had always wanted to belong to. Just a few weeks before the extravagant birthday bash, Mariah Carey was asked if she'd ever met anyone from the royal family. You'd think Meghan's name might come up, considering their past interactions, but it didn't. Mariah didn't mention her at all. Instead, she brought up Fergie, someone who stepped away from royal life years ago and hasn't been part of the main royal spotlight in a long time. That choice wasn't accidental. It was a subtle punctuation mark, a quiet but intentional cue that the person Mariah acknowledged wasn't Meghan. Mariah recognized Fergie. Mariah skipped over Meghan, and that silence, that small omission, spoke louder than any direct comment ever could. Now picture these two women in the same room, surrounded by warm, golden lighting and the refined polish of an elite social event. Without a single word exchanged, the energy between them seemed to crackle like a faint shock running along your legs, invisible but impossible to ignore. It carried hints of unspoken history, selective recall, and a sharp awareness of social hierarchy that both women understood perfectly. As guests sipped cocktails and made easy small talk, a barely noticeable tension lingered between Meghan and Mariah, a tension built on recognition, quiet judgment, and a silence so charged that only the most observant could truly pick up on it. Martha Stewart, on the other hand, operated on a completely different wavelength. She didn't go looking for conflict. She leaned on subtlety, elegance, and the polished delivery of someone who's mastered social nuance over decades. Her remarks always came wrapped in refinement, sounding supportive at first, but give them a moment, and the real meaning sinks in. So when Martha said, "I hope Meghan knows what she's doing," anyone fluent in Martha speak would instantly get it. She seriously doubted that Meghan actually did. It was a gentle, sophisticated jab, the kind that doesn't hit immediately, but a few minutes later, you realize you've just been artfully, expertly cut. Adele's response to Meghan's gift was, true to form, pure silence. No note, no smile, not even a polite thank you. Simply nothing. No words, no acknowledgement. Adele remained cool, indifferent, almost as if the gift had never existed. Like an Amazon package quietly returned without a second thought. The gift had been sent, and then gracefully and without a trace of regret sent back, as if it carried no weight at all. And in that quiet, Meghan realized that Adele's refusal wasn't just a simple brush-off. It was a deliberate act of indifference, a conscious choice to disregard her. The silence spoke louder than any spoken rejection ever could. These women didn't have to put in any effort to outshine anyone. Their presence alone naturally took over the room. One subtle look from them could dim someone else's spotlight in an instant. Their silence carried more influence than a stack of tabloids. Their entire aura reflected legacy, cultural staying power, and decades of real impact, things no PR team could ever fake. And the ironic part? Meghan herself had mentioned both of them before, especially Mariah, whom she once openly praised. But now, standing in the same room, the distance between them felt bigger than anything a red carpet could ever cover. And in that moment, Meghan thought maybe there was one person who could pull her out of that sense of being out of place. That person could be Adele. Oh, the sweet down-to-earth star. The one who, in Meghan's mind, might actually understand what it's like to live in a world of flashing cameras and constant scrutiny. Adele felt like the breath of fresh air Meghan had been hoping for. But here, in this room, with everyone's eyes waiting for the moment to happen, the moment everyone had been anticipating Adele, yes, it really was. Adele made everything feel completely different. But this, in turn, set the stage perfectly for Meghan Markle. The last time she'd tried to get Adele's attention, it hadn't gone exactly as planned. Rumor has it that Meghan sent Adele an extravagant gift basket filled with pricey lemons and jam, a gesture meant to be thoughtful, but, in hindsight, came off as awkward and a bit out of touch. It felt more like showing off wealth than trying to build a real connection. While Adele preferred to keep her distance from the flashiness of the world around her, Meghan seemed determined to win over the biggest stars, even if that meant leaning on grand, slightly over-the-top gestures to make herself noticed. And Mariah didn't bother with even a moment of pretending. There was no polite social smile, no little wave, not even the cheerful, "Oh, hey girl," you'd expect in a crowded celebrity room. No, Mariah glided across the space with a kind of elegant, icy glamour like a high-end breeze sweeping through, and in her eyes, Meghan might as well not have existed. It wasn't an accidental kind of indifference either. It was the intentional, carefully measured sort of invisibility, the soft but razor-sharp kind of dismissal that stings even more than an obvious snub. That attitude spoke louder than any words could, a form of quiet power that only entertainment icons at Mariah's level seemed to wield as effortlessly as breathing. The powerful woman, the music icon, the voice that could break hearts, while effortlessly hitting those soaring high notes that made the world stop and listen. But what truly made Adele's presence remarkable wasn't just her voice or the countless awards she'd earned over the years. It was the quiet strength in her refusal to conform. Adele didn't need to be everywhere. She didn't chase paparazzi or pose for photos at every opportunity. She simply existed on her own terms, unaffected by prying eyes or social expectations. Adele was just herself, and that alone made her one of the most untouchable icons in the music world. Martha Stewart, in her own way, had built a true empire not just through cleverness, but through discipline, talent, and relentless reinvention after her time in prison. She was the embodiment of resilience and success, and her connections were never random. From Snoop Dogg to billionaires and top CEOs, everyone wanted to be part of Martha's network because she had something no one could take away: genuine stability and power earned over time. She didn't need to chase recognition. Everyone else was the one trying to earn her attention. All eyes turned to the three of them, and instantly, everyone at the party felt the tension spike, as if the air had frozen in place. As Meghan and Harry moved closer, the shift in Adele's behavior was impossible to miss. She suddenly became overly animated while chatting with someone else, and every movement seemed noticeably different. Her shoulders began to shake noticeably, a clear reaction, nothing like the natural rhythm of someone enjoying a conversation. It was as if Meghan and Harry's arrival didn't just interrupt the moment, but changed the entire energy of the room, forcing Adele to react so strongly. Hollywood was watching it all. Every entrance, every forced smile, every subtle snub was noticed. And what unfolded that night said a lot. Netflix deals were no longer guaranteed, Spotify had completely walked away, and Meghan's lifestyle brand stayed on indefinite hold. Every plan, every strategy, every move that had seemed solid suddenly felt fragile, like a sandcastle at the mercy of the tide. That night wasn't just a personal setback, it was a striking reminder of the invisible but unforgiving limits in the world of power and fame. Meanwhile, Harry was at a party bathed in disco lights, surrounded by billionaires sipping martinis. The contrast was striking. Prince George was being groomed for duty, responsibility, and leadership, while Harry was being photographed by the fountain at Kris Jenner's house, looking like he was second-guessing every choice he'd ever made. The royal family was moving forward, with the next generation stepping up. Meanwhile, Harry was slowly drifting toward Los Angeles parties, brand deals, and celebrity circles that didn't exactly roll out the red carpet for him. Harry, who had actually been fairly close with Adele in the past, was probably thinking in that moment, finally, someone I can talk to without feeling awkward. It was clear that, at that point, he saw Meghan as his only companion in a room full of flashing cameras and unfamiliar faces. The couple then began making their way toward Adele, quietly hoping this might be their chance to ease the tension and maybe even spark some kind of connection. But the moment they got closer, the energy in the room seemed to freeze. This only made the tension even more palpable, signaling that the dynamic between the three of them was not just complicated, but charged with undeniable discomfort. Adele didn't glance their way even once, not accidentally, not intentionally. Meghan slowed her pace, hoping their eyes might meet. Harry hesitated, silently wishing for some acknowledgement. But Adele didn't even pretend to notice them. She wasn't trying to make a scene, but she had clear boundaries. And tonight, Meghan Markle had completely crossed that line. Yet, despite knowing the history between them, knowing the tension, knowing that this woman had once returned her gift as if it were nothing more than an unwanted package, Meghan still walked into the party with an odd sense of hope. She spotted Adele across the room, and though the energy between them still hummed with coldness, Meghan thought tonight might finally be her chance to make amends. She believed, perhaps a little naively, that this could be the moment to redeem herself in Adele's eyes. The same woman she had tried so hard to impress, only to fall short every time, might finally offer her a flicker of recognition. But this time, Meghan thought, maybe things would be different. Now, the story takes a completely different turn. While Harry was wandering through a Hollywood mansion, looking as if he needed a fresh boost of energy for his soul, something important was happening in London. A new star was emerging, Prince George. This year's Memorial Sunday marked a big step for him. He wasn't just an ordinary child standing beside his parents. He was participating, observing, learning, and slowly stepping into the role he was destined to hold. He looked calm, respectful, and focused, a young boy gradually growing into the future king he was meant to become. And whether Meghan realized it or not, this contrast was shaping into a story the world wouldn't forget. A rising prince and a prince slowly fading from the spotlight, not out of hatred or judgment, but simply the reality of the choices made. After a night full of forced smiles and pointed remarks, photos from the event spread like wildfire. And, as always, the internet did what it does best, analyzing every tiny detail. Harry's expression was one of real discomfort. Meghan's smile looked as if she were hosting the Oscars. This wasn't just a rough night. It was a public unraveling, a quiet but undeniable crack in the glamorous image Meghan and Harry had worked so hard to maintain. Everyone noticed it, from curious glances to whispered comments along the edges of the party. The cold stares, the dismissive looks, and the invisible distances in the room all painted a clear picture. No one treated them as the center of attention anymore. No one welcomed them with the same enthusiasm as before. Even as the party stretched into the late hours, the Sussex story seemed to be collapsing not because of rumors or media hype, but because of a truth that was impossible to ignore. Their body language was completely out of sync. That's when the whispers started. Why did Harry look so down? Why did Meghan seem so thrilled? Are they still in sync? Is their marriage really okay? No one was trying to be cruel, the photos just spoke for themselves. Harry looked heavy, burdened. Meghan looked determined. He seemed ready to leave. She seemed like she wanted to stay until dawn, and those around them only added fuel to the fire. Saying that night exposed the backstage tensions, the conflicting goals, and the widening gap between what Harry and Meghan each wanted, raising serious questions about the path they were on. The backlash from Harry's memoir was still lingering. Their fame was slipping on both sides of the Atlantic. Celebrities were slowly keeping their distance. No big endorsements, no major roles. No headline-making wins, just endless drama overshadowing their careers. Hollywood didn't hate the Sussexes. Hollywood was simply bored. And Hollywood has a rule. When the drama stops generating money, the invitations stop coming. That night made it clear to the entire film industry exactly where this couple stood. In the end, this story isn't just about power, fame, or cultural connections. It's about the feeling of being left out when you try to enter a circle that no longer has room for you. The moment Adele coldly ignores Meghan is the highlight, sending a clear message. You're no longer part of this story, and you can't insert yourself into our narrative. So, what do you think? Was it a fair dismissal, or just another Hollywood power move? Leave a comment with 1 if you sympathize with Meghan Markle, or 0 if you see it differently. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss more stories from behind the scenes of fame.